Good morning, it's Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess, and I have a spontaneous little mini ritual for you today based on my own daily practice this morning, which I have to say, I started out the day feeling kind of worn and a little frazzled and a little agitated. And then when I came out and sat down in my spot and I saw a deer in the woods and I watched the crows and I'm listening to the birds and I'm seeing the mulberry leaves, and I thought two things. One, the word of the day is altar, which is a really difficult one to write a new poem about, just to be honest. But what I thought was that is what daily practice is about, is it alters our experience of being frazzled to flourishing, from being scattered to being centered, or stressed to being centered, for being off center to being back in the center again. And we are invited each day to step into those sacred moments of experiencing. So the other thing I was thinking with relation to altar is I was thinking about how I have my own signs in my life that I'm getting off center. If I skip yoga for more than 2 days in a row, if someone asks me to do something for them or asks me to help them with something and I feel like crying instead of like saying yes, those are some signs that I'm getting off center. And if I feel like I don't have enough time for my practices, even though they're pretty simple and pretty small in a core part of my life, that's one of the signs I was getting off center. And so what I thought was, and this is where the altar comes in, is when we see our lives, when we alter our perspective to compassion from one of shame. So when we alter our perspective from shame to compassion, we can see that those signs that we are getting off center are also our roadmaps back home to ourselves. They're also our roadmaps. So the signs that you're getting off center are your roadmaps back home. So I wanted to offer that to you this morning, to think about what are your signs that you're getting off center, that you're losing touch with yourself, and then to alter your perspective to look at those same signs, the flip of those same signs, as your roadmap back home. So in my example, it would be, I need yoga every day and I need time and space alone in order to feel replenished and resourced so that I have energy to give to others with compassion and delight instead of with agitation and frustration or even resentment. So those are two things. I have a longer list. I may share it as a poem version later, or I may share it at some other time. But right now, those two are good enough. The list was actually quite a bit longer than just those two things. And so then I drew a prayer card for the day. This is just randomly drawn from our Cut Your Own deck. And it was a perfect altar message as well. So instead of criticizing yourself, perhaps try, cradle your face with your own hands. Remind yourself of what you may too often forget. You are loved, you are powerful, you are strong, you are creative, you are magic. Fold both hands across your heart and breathe. Here you are. You have been invited to live inside a miracle. Offer yourself to it fully. And then I had my little card. This is the miniature version of the Story Goddess Oracle deck. I haven't colored them or anything. When the deck is finished, I'm still working on it. It came to my attention yesterday that some people didn't realize that I literally am making this deck as I go along through the year. It's not something that I've done already and I'm just trickling out over the course of the year. It's something that I'm making as we go for the Goddess Magic community on Patreon. That's patreon.com/goddessmagic. And so when the whole deck is finished, I'm going to get them printed on colored paper at least. I'd love to get the deck down to color, but that's a whole long story in that respect. But I'm going to print it out for myself, at least on colored cardstock. Yay, Staples. I'm the biggest fan. And so I drew, from the tiny version, I drew Hecate, and I thought this was really powerful too, with the idea of altering how we see things and altering our perspective from shame to compassion. And so here's what she has to say. Listen, I am the gatekeeper. You ask for directions, and I offer the keys for you to take your own path. So sometimes when we feel off track or off centered, we may be casting around for other people's wisdom, casting around for guidance, somebody help me. But Hecate is here to remind us that we can take the keys and find our own path. We can create our own path by walking. And then I was just going to go ahead and close with the affirmation for today that was already posted on social media. And this is a good reminder too. And this is what I think daily practice encourages, supports, and helps you to sustain. So 30 Days of Goddess is available to you at 30daysofgoddess.com with resources for nourishing a supportive and doable, easy daily practice, one that helps you shift your perspective and move from stressed to centered and from frazzled to flourishing. So here we go. When you see the world through the eyes of magic, it alters everything. The ordinary becomes enchanted, the everyday becomes extraordinary, your life becomes alive with wonder. Each moment a gift, each encounter a note in the chorus of the sacred that surrounds you where you are. Thanks so much for being here. Keep living your magic. Bye-bye.